Imagine you open ChatGPT and ask the old strawberry question. How many R's are in the word strawberry? 2 years ago, the model would shrug, hallucinate, or, if you were lucky, guess correctly half the time. Today, with the shiny new reasoning models, you press enter and watch the system think. You actually see it spelling strawberry and counting the letters and then calmly reply 3. It feels almost magical, as if the model suddenly discovered arithmetic. Spoiler, it didn't. It has just learned to spend more tokens before it answers you. And it can afford that luxury because the raw capacity underneath has already ballooned from the 117 million parameter GPT-2 or 1.5 billion in its largest flavor that munched on 8 billion web text token to trillion parameter giants trained on roughly 15 trillion tokens. Essentially, the entire readable web, spread across clusters of tens of thousands of H100 GPUs. That tiny detour is the heart of the newest wave in large language model research. For years, we lived by one rule, scaling laws. Principles where the more we push them to their limit, the better the results are. More model parameters plus more data equals more skills. Bigger bucket, bigger pile of internet, better performance. But buckets don't grow forever. We are scraping the bottom of the web, and GPUs are melting data center walls. It pretty much seems like we are going into what many researchers call a pre-training plateau. So instead of tackling the consciousness issue directly, researchers turned around and asked, what if we can't scale the model any further? Could we scale the answer time instead? And here, reasoning models were born. Same neural guts, same weights, but a new inference time scaling law, more compute after the user clicks send with the hypothesis that if the results are good enough, we, the user, will be fine with waiting a few seconds, minutes, or even more. Here's how it works in practice. A classic GPT-style model produces one token at a time until it hits an end of text marker, like this. And it learns to generate that token autonomously during its training when it's done answering, since we've manually added this exact same token in all our training examples to teach it to do so. If you're already lost, I suggest watching our introduction to large language models to get a good grasp of tokens and embeddings, which will really help you better understand and leverage LLMs in general. Instead of this usual single stream token generation, reasoning models generate two streams. First comes a hidden monologue, the chain of thought, which is basically the same as the popular chain of thought prompting technique. Engineers literally introduced a new token, end of thinking, to mark where that private scratchpad stops. Only after the scratchpad is closed down, the model writes the polished answer and emit the usual end of text. The model hasn't become logical in the human sense. It's still predicting the next most probable token. It simply predicts a longer preamble now, walks through the solution step by step, and therefore raises its own chance of guessing the final token correctly, by providing itself more context, rodging the probability in its favor one token at a time. And how do you get such a reasoning model? Before we get into the details, I want to share a cool platform with you. Last month, we realized that Towards AI needed a clean B2B landing page so enterprises could quickly see how our training and consulting packages fit their roadmap. The agencies we talked to quoted way too much, around $6,000.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Fortunately, I heard about HeyBoss, a super cool startup backed by OpenAI, which was generous enough to also sponsor this video. What they called their boss mode made our site in 3 steps. A one-line brief, then I just pasted existing copies we had for the AI CEO to learn about my business to make a tailored landing page. And then I took a coffee break while the AI team designed, wrote, coded, and debugged the website for me. 10 minutes later, I had this. Sure, it's not perfect and needs some prompting to fix what's missing, but I got this complete website in 3 to 4 minutes of thinking and typing. There's no reason not to launch your own brand website now. Try out HeyBoss with the first link below and use code Louis-François to get in. Okay, let's get back to the main topic. To get a reasoning model, you start from a giant pre-trained model like GPT-4 or Gemini class. So it follows the same pre-training step you already know if you've watched my videos before. Then you build a dataset where each example contains a question, a full chain of thought proof, and the final answer. Code and mathematics are super popular because proofs and code are verifiable and binary. Either the theorem is solved or it isn't, either the code runs or not. Then feed those triples into a supervised fine-tuning pass so the network learns to place end of thinking before end of text. Then add a reinforcement learning loop. Instead of rewarding every token, you grade only the final answer with a special function or a judge, maybe another language model, maybe a human, maybe a compiler if the task is code. Good answer, no gradient update. Bad answer, tiny penalty. This is super similar to the reinforcement fine-tuning OpenAI recently announced and released, where a dozen such examples can shift style and structure towards your goals. Finally, run a balancing phase where the model practices questions that need zero, little, or a lot of reasoning, so it learns when to keep it quiet and when to spend lots of time and compute thinking. Just like how we can answer on the fly for basic 2+2 questions, but need a pen and paper or even a calculator for a more complex integral. Thanks to this whole training process, at deployment, the model decides on the fly how long to think. Ask it a trivial fact, and it might whisper one or two hidden lines, punctuate end of thinking, and answer instantly. Ask it to design a novel sorting algorithm, and you may watch it mull for seconds, chewing through hundreds of tokens of private deduction before it speaks. That delay costs real money. Every thinking token is an API charge and a GPU cycle. Multiply that by the loop inside an agent that calls the model 10 times, and suddenly your side project feels like renting a small data center. That's the dark side of our new scaling axis. We replaced parameter growth with inference time growth, and the bill followed. By the way, OpenAI doesn't show this thinking process, so you need to be careful about that. They only send a controlled summary, which isn't what the model actually generated in its thinking. So you can't use that to train your own thinking model. Oh, and if part of the hidden reasoning is crucial for the next turn of the conversation, copy it into your follow-up prompt, because the model itself will forget. Its private notes are not automatically passed to the next round. The prompting advice changed with these new types of model as well. With ordinary LLMs, we often said to write something like, let's think step by step, or give it a plan of action like, first list the letters, then count the hours. With reasoning models, you don't need to. The chain of thought is baked in. Instead, you mainly want to give it a goal and the core restrictions and guidelines you want it to follow. It will then come up with the steps and necessary actions to accomplish the task. So here, the more information about what you want, contrary to the information about how to proceed, the better. And if you care about latency and cost, ask explicitly for concise thinking. For example, reason briefly for at most 5 steps, then answer. You are paying for tokens, make the writer conscious of that. And likewise, if you want a very deep answer. Now, how does this all connect to the famous scaling laws we started with? Think of classic scaling as two axes, parameters and data. We stretch them until we hit physical walls, electric bills, atom-sized transistors, and shrinking pile of new text. Reasoning models adds a third axis that we call test time or inference time compute. Instead of buying a taller bucket or stuffing it with more internet, we shake the bucket longer each time we fetch something from it. It's a clever hack, but it also inherits the law of diminishing returns. Early experiments, OpenAI's O1, O3, DeepSeek R1, show big gains on math and code benchmarks with moderate extra thinking. Double the scratchpad again and the curve flattens. Eventually, you are feeding the model so many of its own tokens that you can't nudge it toward a better answer if it didn't know it already in its own knowledge base. Which links this axis of scaling to another one, tool use, and thus agents, which we will cover in another video shortly. And let's address the elephant in the room. Does this mean machines are finally reasoning? Not more than yesterday. They are still next token predictors, super powerful statistical machines predicting one token at a time. The apparent logic it gains come from sampling more conditional probabilities, not from symbol manipulation or causal world models. The chain of thought helps the model expose intermediate states that were previously hidden, which makes the final guess better and easier for humans to audit. But under the hood, every step is the same statistical game we've played since GPT-2, just looped longer on more data and more compute. And where does that leave us? With more options and more potential. For simple customer support replies, stick to small, faster models. For complex research questions or multi-step code generation, rent a reasoning model, budget for the tokens, and enjoy the extra depth. If you need even more power and capabilities, browse the web, code, plan tasks, and cite sources, build an advanced workflow or even an agent, leveraging the power of reasoning models and tools. But you are not stuck with using one or the other. In a complex system, we usually combine both reasoning models as being the brain of the agent and non-reasoning models as actors doing what the brain told them to do, whether it is to translate, use a tool, or do specific actions. By the way, we teach to combine these models and more in our agents-focused course in partnership with my friends at Decoding ML. If you're interested in learning more about agents and building agentic systems yourself, check out the course in the description below. Just keep an eye on power bills and on new accelerator chips. Someone has to pay for the extra seconds of GPU time, and our planet pays for it too. So please, for both sakes, use the simplest model and the simplest solution that fixes your problem. We started the video counting letters in a fruit and ended with a new scaling law that demonstrates that you can spend a little extra computing time at inference time to buy a lot more reasoning. Whether that shortcut carries us all the way to AGI or just buys a little breathing room before the next hardware leap is still an open question. But for now, if you feel your model isn't smart enough, don't rush to train a bigger one. Try letting it think out loud first, then decide if the answer was worth the extra tokens. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with a friend and spread the knowledge. Thank you to HeyBoss for sponsoring the video. Please check out their website in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.